Hey everybody, welcome to this video, created to guide your faith group discussion or your personal Bible study. Today we're diving into an important and relatable topic, obstacles to prayer. In this video, you'll watch clips from the Divergent Hope Podcast featuring Pastor Laurel, Karen Cooprider, and Christie Jaegle. Together, they unpack the many challenges that we face when it comes to prayer, and they provide practical and biblical insights on how to overcome them. Whether it's busyness, doubt, or distractions, this conversation will encourage and equip you to deepen your prayer life. To help you reflect further, we've created a PDF with discussion and reflection questions that you can find in the description of this video or pinned in the comments below. And hey, don't feel like you need to get through all the questions. Use them as a guide and focus on what resonates most with you or your group. And if you're not currently in a faith group, we encourage you to consider joining one. Faith groups are a great way to grow in faith, build community, and have meaningful conversations like this. You can visit our website at faithma.org to learn more about groups and find the one that's the best fit for you. We're so glad you're here, and we hope this video inspires and blesses you. So let's jump in.
What, for us personally, are some of the biggest obstacles to and in prayer? And what are some of the ways that you have learned to work through those?
I think if I were a millennial, I would have been diagnosed immediately, probably with ADD. And so that makes my mind very busy and going 100 different directions. And I tend to be a busy person anyway. And that really works against me, because I have all things going. When I try to concentrate, it just goes out the wind. So I'll have great intentions and I'll start to pray, and all of a sudden I am deciding what new dog food I need to buy.
Well, the biggest one for me is certainly distractions or misplaced priorities, even, right? Where other things take precedence and squeeze out that space that I might otherwise give to God and sitting with Him. I just think sitting with God can be hard. It's hard work because it goes against our grain in a culture where we're striving to do and be. Do a lot as opposed to just simply be, and so that's a struggle. Unbelief. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like, does this even matter? Is anything going to change if I sit with God in prayer? Is what I have to say important enough? Is it, and that's sometimes the result of us making prayer so complicated for people, where they think they're not good enough, that somebody else is better because they're more eloquent or they're closer to God or something like that, right? And so sometimes we think, I don't want to bother God with the small stuff. I don't want to take up that space, or I need to go to the expert prayers, the people who can pray for us, or that kind of thing.
But I think of noise, the noise in my head, the noise in my heart when I sit down or when I pray. That's just there because of all that's going on inside of me that maybe I haven't processed yet, or, I'm frustrated about a situation, whatever. That can be a huge obstacle to prayer, because even when I do take the time, then it's like, I can't get past this, or it's like you're saying, Christy, it distracts you so much. When I think, I just don't have words, God. I don't have anything to say. And I've learned slowly to, that's a good thing. That can be a wonderful thing. Mm-hmm. That can be a time for, God and me to just sit and be and enjoy each other. When you are praying for something that you really want, or you're passionate about, or you want for somebody else, and you stay at it for a while and nothing seems to be happening, what do you do with that?
I was thinking it kind of depends on what God is holding off answering. Mm-hmm. And I was thinking, if it has to do with my adult children, I immediately go to guilt. And which kind of piggybacks, because it's like, if I had only done this differently, or if I could do this, or, if I could be in control. And that kind of leads me to one of the big things that's always been an obstacle to prayer, but it also really comes in when God's waiting. And because I don't wait very well, and it's like intense frustration. So again, like we've been talking with the doing, I've got to do something. And so it comes in that I've either got to control the situation or fix it, because I've given him his time limit of 3.5 days. Right. And so I will just take over where he obviously has left off.
Yeah. What do you do with boredom, with prayer? One of the things I have done is I try to move my body and pray. So take a walk and pray. Or I will go to the Psalms and I'll pray a psalm just because it will get me out of my boredom and thinking, more about God or about what the psalmist is saying. But even boredom can be, definitely can be an obstacle in prayer.
If I will begin writing, it not only focuses me, but all of a sudden it's like I can begin to tell God what really is there. Not what I think he wants me to say or what I should say, not the right answer, but what's really there. And I've tried to practice over the last few years, not only naming that emotion, but just being able to settle into that feeling. And so if I'm angry, to be angry instead of, oh God, you wouldn't want me to be angry because I'm supposed to pretend you're in control, even though I don't feel like you're in control. And so just to do those, and how he begins to work on me within that. And I begin to be able to look at things like within the waiting. That's the thing, because so much comes up, and I believe lies so easily. And it's like I get fearful, he doesn't care about me. And so if I write them, I begin to say, oh, I'm believing that he has abandoned me. I believe that he doesn't have my best in mind. And then I can stop and say, but what do I really know about God? Or I can go back to the Word and find out the truth. And that just recenters me so that I can continue waiting on him and believing that he will answer. One of the things, and I was thinking as we were talking about how we really, the obstacles to prayer have kind of been because we believed false things about prayer. And so we're having to relearn what God really says prayer is. And so as we begin to look at it and relearn. So in this case, for one of them, it's my perfectionist that's all involved with that codependency. And so I've looked around for years, and there's been these people that will meet 3 times a week at the church or at a home at 5 o'clock in the morning, and they'll go through this formula of, adoration, confession, all good things. But that is what prayer has become to me. And so instead of it just saying, God, you created me in a way that I don't even want to do that, much less I just don't function like that. So if you created me like this, maybe that isn't what prayer is between you and I. And so changing that perfectionist stuff and being willing to say, hey, maybe what I believed all these years has been wrong.
Wow.
And starting new.
Because really prayer isn't about a formula or going through motions. It's about
relationship.
With God. It's intimacy
Relationship.
and relating to and conversing with God and enjoying him and him enjoying you. And so if what you're doing today is getting stale or not getting you excited, then do something different.
Right.
And enjoy God in a different way. Fear is probably the underlying thing in all of the obstacles.
Right.
Somehow connected to everything. But I was thinking, for so many of us, there's so many things that prayer scares us. God is so big. Mm-hmm. We're not. He's good. We're not. Mm-hmm. I don't know that I want to get too close to him. Mm-hmm. That's a vulnerable place to be. I don't know if I want to, in the discovery process and prayer of my own self, I don't know that I want to see or learn things about myself or change things about myself. Or I'm not sure I want to hear what might be required of me if I'm talking to God. Or
I have illusions about things, right? And God's really about changing my mind about those, saying, Laurel, why are you afraid? Why are you afraid of letting that go? And what are you trying to control, or what are you trying to make happen? Have you ever thought that maybe that's actually not good for you or not the best thing for you? And what if I haven't made you for that? What if I've made you for something else? And you're going to miss all the joy in that. So I feel like when I start to be willing to face the fear, then God expands my view, gives me a wider perspective of what I might be missing, or what I'm protecting myself from. I think I'm protecting myself from. What I'm really keeping myself from, something really good. I also think, it's all about wanting to stay in our comfort zone. Don't ask me to step out into something that looks really scary and increase my faith.